I thought it went well. We get to do more things in the summer. NCAA allows you to have a football out there and do a couple things. So, they're a little bit more, it's easier to have that first practice because we've kind of been practicing. You can't go against each other, but you get football out there. So what used to be practice one, where you just did one first day of practice, is now like practice, 10 maybe, something like that. So got quite a bit of our offense, defense, special teams in, and kind of breaking them in slow. You run like crazy all summer, but it's not the same thing as football conditioning. Putting that helmet on makes it a little tougher too. So, and one other thing, I thought our field, it was definitely cooler out there, and I think the kids. I don't know if you asked them that question or not, but it felt cooler to me out there than what it normally is. So, any questions?
Your thoughts on Ivietta and the progress he's making?
Pretty good, I think. Now he's getting out there and making some real throws with a defense and things like that. But he's probably 2-3 weeks away from being full speed. But as far as his legs and movement and dropping back, there's just a few throws right now he's got to gain some confidence with.
Is there anything like a different responsibility? I mean, you always seem the same, but now that you've got it to where a new height last year, so to say, to make sure that it is sustained there.
No, I don't change anything. I really have the same approach every single day, every single week, every single year. I said we talked about that last night. I put 2023 on the board, and carry 2022 into 2023, and we certainly didn't carry 2021 into 2022. So this is its own season. It's we got different coaches, different players. It's just different. But my preparation's the same. My approach to practice is the same, and during the season, I don't think you can tell what the outcome of the game was on Saturday based on how I behave on Monday, and it should be the same thing because it's a new week, it's a new opponent, it's a new challenge.
You think that Arnold Barnes has a chance to be a very, very, very good player?
Yeah, I think so. He's got good size, good movement. He's really got tremendous change of direction, good speed. He's a bigger back. He's about 225 pounds. It's going to be interesting early. We're going to play a lot of backs, and some guys are going to separate themselves. You can't play 5 guys all the time, but we'll play. After a few weeks, we'll play 2 or 3 max backs, and he's certainly in the running to be one of those guys.
Would you be hesitant at all to trust a freshman, especially back there, protecting your quarterback?
No, the big difference, and it is a good question because the protection is a lot different in college than it is in high school. They usually have a little less rules in the high school game as far as protection is concerned. We got, based on the route, based on the personnel, our protection changes. So there's a lot of thinking with the running backs, and a couple of those guys have told me that's the biggest difference for them is who they're picking up, scanning. You might have seen some of that during practice today where, working inside out. A couple times he's working outside in. He'd forgotten that we changed the protection. So he'll get there. He's a smart kid.
As far as, sorry.
Follow up on that, Coach. I mean, obviously the big question is who's going to replace Tajay, but how do you kind of ensure that there's no drop off in the run game?
Well, it's we got to find out who those people are. We got Shotty Clayton and Arnold we talked about, and Iverson Celestine, and Shedro Lewis is a new guy. Makai Hughes has done some things. I'm probably forgetting somebody, but we've got some very talented backs, and we'll see exactly who's going to end up playing the majority of snaps. Someone's going to come out, someone's going to be the bell cow, and probably going to take a few weeks for us to figure out who that is.
When you have a guy like that, like, I guess an analogy, like an Aaron Judge, who can one swing can change a game, Tajay on one play could change a game, how easy is that to replace?
Well, it's hard. He's a great player. We expect him to play a lot for the Tennessee Titans this year, so he's a pretty good player. And Scout, who's a buddy of mine, who's there right now, called me just the other day and told me how impressed they were with his work ethic and his explosiveness, and he's better than what they anticipated. So I think that's he's a great player. So it's hard to replace a great player, but I think we got some guys back there who can be excellent players in the AAC. I really believe that.
You got 4 guys, I think, that transferred in after spring practice. You mentioned Shedro Lewis is one, Podescalou, Monroe, and Jared Small. Just what do you feel like they're bringing?
Well, Jared Small was going to start at LSU, and then he got hurt, unfortunately. And so we feel like, we got some guys that have been around him. So, Coach McMahon in particular, he played a lot in the special teams for him. The young man from Wofford, great start. He's all conference player there. We need to, just like running back, we're going to have some guys step up at safety. And he's another guy who's in the mix, that position. Cam, I always butcher his last name. But he was a first-team all-conference in the Sun Belt at Louisiana Lafayette. So, we expect him to be a great player for us this season. Who else was it? Shedro Lewis. I think Shedro was the only guy who's he's had 3 kick returns for touchdowns. I think maybe one of them got called back. I'm not sure, but he's very talented, and I like his work ethic too. He really comes to work every day.
It's only the first day of practice, but in years past, I guess you had like institutional knowledge of some of the teams that you played every year. With so many
Right.
new teams, did you have to start looking at film? Do you start? I mean, I know you don't want to get too far ahead, but in fact, you're going to face so many new teams in your conference this year.
We really looked closely at our first 4 opponents. Week 1, South Alabama, they've got all their coordinators and coaches back. Obviously, it's a week 1 game too. Ole Miss, same thing for the most part. Southern Miss, same thing. They made a change, but they're going to keep the same philosophy. Nichols, same thing. But you're right, the other coaches, we're not quite sure exactly what they're going to do. A couple of them later down the line, we have an idea. But by that time, you've gotten all this season's tape reviewed and analyzed, and you base it more off that. There's a lot of new teams.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.